Hello and welcome to The Business, and today I'm joined by Mike Jones from Neogain. He specialises in the dark arts of web optimisation. So Mike, is it dark arts or what is it? Most people it's way over the head.
Well, firstly, I think web optimisation really would be more of an umbrella term for the whole thing that we do. In specialises in search engine optimisation. Really, what we're doing is positive things to websites, both on the website themselves and in building relationships with other websites that search engines like Google will recognise and give a priority to in their list of where that website comes if somebody does a particular search for a particular service or product or problem that they might have.
So what's the first thing that anybody can do then to the website to get it up that ranking, and does it really work? Does it work being at the top?
Yeah, absolutely. Most people, your average search engine user, will more often than not click the first few entries on any given search that they see, most importantly in the organic area, which is not the bit at the top and down the side, which is paid. You can be paying Google to be there. We're talking about the bit in the middle where you've got there under your own steam. And really, it's not a dark art. The point is, if your website is a good website and it deserves to be there, Google's probably clever enough to put you there in any case. What we try to do, and what we do commercially, is improve websites to give that desired effect.
So if you was having a website designed from scratch then, which is something that I know you guys do anyway, but I mean if you're having one, what is the most common failing that people seem to do with the website?
There's a variety of things, as you might imagine. One of the main issues is lack of good quality content on a website. At the end of the day, if a business wants to rank highly for widgets and all their website really says is a history of how they started making widgets, the chances are it's not really going to be of that much interest to Google's audience, who are the searchers. On the other hand, if there's loads of useful information on there about how they make the widgets, what the widgets do, and so on and so forth, well, it's relevant, it's of interest, and of course it deserves to be fairly high up there for the Google audience to see.
So I suppose instead of putting information on there that's just about how your company grew, it needs to be more about giving people that information of this is a useful widget for you and this is how it can be used.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And in going further from that, it's beyond the website itself, it's about making that kind of useful information that people are going to get something from available across the internet on other people's websites and in various locations that people are going to find it, including the search engines, and either find the website directly or it's going to give priority to it in the rankings.
Because I think I'm right in saying that Google's a really complicated animal to try and get up the top on, is it?
If you're at the point where there's a great deal of competition to be at the top of there's a lot of value in being there. Of course, the thing that makes it complicated isn't so much Google, it's everybody else trying to scramble to the top. As in any crowd, fighting your way to the front is always going to be difficult. Going back to what I said about content, if it's well written, if your website is naturally good and you're out there promoting it, that in itself is going to push it forward, which is actually quite a simple concept that anybody can understand, even if they're not practices of the dark arts and so on.
You see, when people always talk to me about websites and how we're going to get the ranking and what is the importance of being on the ranking, the analogy I always use, and you might agree or disagree with this, is that when you have your business, it's like opening up a shop that's quite a long way from the main street. And the idea is to try and get that shop to the front of the main street. And there's a number of ways of doing that, because you can either use someone like yourselves to try and bring your shop up to the front, or you can also put your shop within somebody else's shop on the main street. I don't know what that's called exactly.
There are a few ways to do it. I mean, you compare the market, a prime example of insurance companies having a concession, if you like, within Money Supermarket, whereby visitors to Money Supermarket would do a search for life insurance, let's say, and they'll get quotes from all the guys that are in there.
So if I came to you with a website and I said to you, I want to be on the top ranking of the website, which would be the hardest and most expensive to get on?
In terms of keywords, do you mean, or
Yeah.
industries? By far financial services and legal.
Really?
That's there's a lot of money in there. Health coming not far after. Then you've, I would guess, all the spam kind of related keywords, the adult stuff, the gambling stuff, and all that kind of thing. But yeah, financial through and through. They've got a lot of money, those guys, and they like spending it on their advertising, which is really what makes it expensive. It's driven by the industry that it's relating to.
So, many years ago, I remember someone saying to me, and this might be something that's changed now, but they said, oh, you've got to put loads of words in the background so that it sees those words. Are they the meta tags or something?
Yeah, there are various things you can do on a web page in bits of code in the meta tags, for example. The way you title a page, the description that you give to a page are very, very important. But going back to really the theme I keep coming back to is, overall, it's the content of the web page and how it relates to the rest of the website across the board. So there's not, whilst it's important to have a great title tag, for example, if you've got a great title tag and nothing else to go with it, it's like a newspaper article where the headline jumps off the page and you get there and there's no content really. It's no use to anybody. So the whole thing really has to fit together and make sense to a human being or anybody or a Google bot or whoever, that it's relevant to the subject that it needs to rank well for the keyword.
So lastly then, Mike, pay to click on Google. Is that a good thing to do or not?
Absolutely. As we recommend to all our SEO clients and indeed our own in-house projects, there's no faster way of finding out if your website is going to convert, what the keywords are that you want to be ranking for, than pay-per-click. It's instant. We often liken it to pay-per-click being very much like a little speedboat that can zip around and go in different directions and get there very quickly. And SEO being more like an oil tanker. It can carry an awful lot of weight, but it takes a bit of time to get going, and it takes some time to turn it as well, and it does take a little bit of time to stop, but it's carrying a lot of weight along the way.
I've heard of people, though, that have said, right, now I've gone for pay-per-click on a particular product or service. Then what's happened is, me competitors have just sat there clicking it all the time, and I've ended up with just a massive bill.
Unfortunately, as long as there's people in the world, there's going to be people that behave badly, and that's exactly what they're doing really. It's no different to running in your front door, nicking all your leaflets and putting them in a bin somewhere so nobody else sees them. They're just wasting your budget. Thankfully, Google are very, very active in combating click fraud, and it's really what's probably set Google up there as the market leader. They are as clever as they are at working out where to put websites in their list, they're equally as hard working at finding out, hang on a minute, that IP address seems to be clicking that advert an awful lot, that can't be right. And indeed we often see credits to accounts directly from Google, and I've even seen balances just miraculously alter overnight, and we've called up, is there something wrong with the account, is there a problem? No, we just realised there were some clicks that had been added that weren't actually of any use to you.
Because also, I suppose, the other thing is that instead of just advertising a pay-per-click on a service that you offer, could you not then just advertise on a competitor's one?
Yes, and people do.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a bit like going and parking your van outside the front door with all your livery across it and advertising. Whether it's good practice or bad practice is probably one for another day to debate, but in some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't. It'd be down to the business who was advertising as to whether they felt that was the correct way they would like to approach the market. I'll leave that one for people to think about themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully that's given you a brief insight of what search engine optimisation is all about. So now it's maybe not quite the dark art we thought it was. If you need any help with that, Mike's available, I'm sure, and you'll get his number from the site. So thanks a lot for popping in, Mike. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks ever so much, Graham.
Thank you.